It is exactly 1 week until the new season comes out, and so far all we have is a premiere on the Apex YouTube channel where it reveals the next season is going to be called Apex Amped, and that's about it. There's no blog post, no information, or patch notes. So, while we wait for official information, let's cover everything we know so far about Season 27, because the second legend to get an upgrade in Season 27 was just teased. Starting off though, you're probably already aware that one of the legend upgrades next season has already been teased. A few days ago on Respawn's Twitter account, they posted this image, which basically was a bit of a lore drop about Valkyrie, but also revealed that Valkyrie was getting into some trouble while her jetpack was getting some upgrades, more specifically, seemingly speed upgrades. But now we have a bit more news surrounding this, including another legend that will be getting upgrades as well this season, and maybe if we're lucky, a bit of a mini rework. But for Valkyrie, it's clear that her jetpack is going to be getting buffed from these teasers, but also it seems her missiles are going to be getting buffed as well, as Danny Lily 1986 tagged me in this post on Twitter today, which showed the Valkyrie buff has been under our noses this whole time, as he went back and watched the Showdown gameplay trailer and realised when a Valkyrie tactical was activated in this trailer, it was way bigger than in the vanilla game. As right now in game, Valkyrie's missiles can either be a 4x3 pattern or a 3x5 pattern when using her full coverage upgrade. But in the Showdown trailer, her missile grid was upgraded to a 5x4, meaning there's a whole extra row of missiles now on Valkyrie. And this was sneakily revealed to us in the Showdown trailer, but we didn't realise it, and this guy seems to be the only person who caught this hint in the trailer. So once again, not only is Valkyrie getting a jetpack upgrade, but she's going to be raining down way more missiles, and I would imagine they're going to be more powerful come Season 27. Additionally, Valkyrie's buffs were teased through this Twitter post on the Play Apex Twitter, and the teasers on their Twitter have not stopped, as they posted this one a few days ago as well. This is a phone conversation between Valkyrie and Rampart, which reveals some pretty cool stuff. It starts off with Valkyrie, aka Punch Drunk. If you read the other teaser, it would make sense, saying, "What the frick? I help you with Franny and you ditch me? You owe me like 6 punches." Franny is a nickname for Francis, a character from the lore. Rampart says, "Mate, you're alive, right? What's the problem?" Valkyrie says, "I'm gonna kill you." Rampart says, "Okay, fine. Sorry I ditched you." Valk says, "Why you start that fight?" Rampart says, "You know Francis is an absolute spanner." Valk then says, "Yeah, but it's not like some 2-bit hack hasn't called you names before." To which Rampart replies, "This one burned down my house," which was actually featured in the Season 6 trailer. Valk then says, "Don't make that excuse. You were just mad she called you out for being stuck in a rut. You let her get under your skin." Rampart replies, "Oi, my skin's tip top. Decking her in the face was just inspirational." Valkyrie replies, "Funny, I didn't feel very inspired after I saw you run out the door." To which Rampart responds, "Then you should have looked closer. Got a spark soon as my fist hit her nose. Finally cracked that amped cover problem. Nobody's getting past these walls when I'm done with them." Which is the first hint at an upgrade to Rampart's amped walls, which could be absolutely brilliant. Valkyrie continues by saying, "So bar fights with the enemy are inspiring. This is what I get for being friends with an artist." Rampart says, "Careful with the name calling. I'm almost done with your jetpack. How badly do you want it back?" Which means Rampart is the one who is upgrading Valkyrie's jetpack for the upgrade, which is a nice connection honestly, and if you go all the way back to the Season 9 trailer, Rampart is the one who originally constructed Valkyrie's jetpack out of leftover parts of Viper's North Star Titan, so this isn't exactly unheard of. Valkyrie then says, "I'm about to march into your workshop and show you what I did to Franny." To which Rampart responds, "Heh, at least I'll have better cover then," which once again does kind of put the cherry on top that Rampart's cover is going to be upgraded. So I'm pretty sure these two characters are going to be the major upgrade receivers of Season 27, which is absolutely brilliant. And it's nice that Respawn kind of confirmed what parts of their kits are going to see an upgrade. For Valkyrie though, there is still this image here of an item on her back, but I don't think this is to do with her jetpack upgrade, as I compared the picture of her jetpack here to her jetpack currently in game. I do believe this thing is an item, be it a limited time melee weapon coming, or maybe even a new weapon overall in Season 27. This is still a big mystery. I really don't know what this is going to be, but it just looks too out of place to be part of Valk's upgrade. Moving on to more changes for Season 27, as obviously it's not just Legends, we have already established that Olympus is going to see some pretty big changes. Pretty much the whole right side of the map is confirmed to change right now, and way more could possibly change. Also, there has been a lot of conversation that this version of Olympus right here could be exclusive to Wildcard, as many people are theorizing the reason Respawn have brought a second Olympus into the lore is because they want to keep one for the pubs mode and one for Wildcard. If we look at my Olympus map reconstruction image, there are definitely zip rails flowing around, and I did theorize this could just be a general new addition to Olympus, but others did say this might just be the wildcard version of the map, and others did go a bit further and say maybe this update is for a wildcard only version of Olympus. We're all still a bit confused about how this update is going to work, and also what other parts of the map are going to be upgraded. A lot of people are hoping this big area of the map also sees some changes, some new buildings, or maybe even a complete removal, because many people do agree that Olympus is a bit too big and in some areas a bit too open, and this area is 100% the worst offender for this. If you look over the rest of the map, in every open area there's at least something to break it up, but here that's just not the case. I've had some absolutely nauseating endgames in this area, but I really cannot wait to see the style of this map update, and if they do put some snow down on Olympus, considering that the whole lore is it crashed onto a snowy planet. I mean, at this point the update's not that far away, surely it can't be long until we will see a slither of this. Also, speaking of wildcard, I'm pretty sure next season it's confirmed we are going to get more wildcard modes. Season 26's wildcard modes were very well received, and I'm sure people can't wait for more wildcards to make it into the game. I really want Respawn to go through with the idea though of a Titanfall wildcard event where all of the wildcards are Titanfall adjacent abilities like double jump, wall run, hover, invisibility, etc. Please, Respawn. Also, as we heard recently from Respawn, we are going to be getting a pretty big audio update next season, which is going to give us a new setting that will be automatically applied to everybody, which basically makes footsteps louder and useless noises quieter, and also completely mutes teammate footsteps, which is a great step in the right direction. But for legend buffs next season, we've talked about Valk and Rampart, but what about Ashe? Because recently a lot of community members seemed convinced that Respawn had secretly rebuffed Ashe to make her dash good again and add speed and distance back to it. Genuinely, there were multiple posts that blew up saying they thought this had been improved, and players had even gathered speed data to back up their claims. And this all seemed really convincing, but it turned out to either be someone just getting the data wrong or some sort of mass trolling campaign to bring Ashe back to being the most picked legend, as a developer called Jax did respond by saying, "Thank you for your passion around Ashe's dash. The research and testing is so thorough." But I've chatted with the game team about this and they've confirmed they've not made any changes to Ashe's dash since the last reduction we communicated. So it seems this buff is a bit of a placebo effect and maybe some data getting mixed up somewhere, but a lot of people did think if Ashe is starting to look buffed right now, maybe she'll get an official change in Season 27, but it just doesn't seem to be the case. I do think Respawn are going to keep her how she is. For the last part of Season 27, I think Respawn might bring back something they started in Season 26, as in Season 26, Respawn introduced the Elite Weapon System, where they temporarily reworked the RE45 to be an energy burst weapon. But from the start, Respawn did say this is temporary and it's part of this new system, as you can see by the hop-up. And a lot of people have started to complain that the RE45 was better as a light weapon, maybe not realizing that it is only temporary. And there's a good chance next week we are going to see it go back to a light weapon and some other weapon get temporarily reworked. So there's also that to look forward to. There's a lot to look forward to next season, honestly. And if they do really well with the Valk and Rampart buffs, combined with an Olympus update, it could be a really good season. I guess you'll just have to subscribe to keep updated.